Hello, my name is Shawn Davis. I'm a CP27 housing intern, and I'm here at Joint Base Lewis McChord. During this video log, I'm going to be giving you guys an idea of my day-to-day operations, what it's like being a housing intern. I'm going to go over the importance of communication, my likes and dislikes of this program. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you for your time. All right, I'm going to be going over my year one experience. Right behind me is the Housing Services Office. This is where it started for me, and did my on-the-job rotation with them, after which I did my rotation with RCI, during which I had to take a break from them to go finish or do my AFH training objectives, and then came back, finished RCI, and now I'm currently in unaccompanied housing, and so that's where I'm at right now. During this whole process, I've been able to work with true professionals, and I've learned quite a bit in relation to housing. This has been a really great experience, and it's helped me to develop a lot of my existing skill sets and develop new ones that I now have through this program. You know, on a professional level, I've been able to work on team building, resilience, strategic thinking, technical capabilities, housing management, and of course a little bit of political savvy. All these things play they're part of the competencies that are in our housing intern reference guide, which is a huge part of our program. It's basically, the standard. It goes, hey, here's what's expected of us, here's when it's expected of us, and here's how you complete your tasks. So this whole experience has been great. With HSO, I learned a lot about, the off-base housing component of providing homes for our service members off the installation. Not all installations have the housing capabilities to house all its service members, so it plays a huge role in facilitating the needs of our service members. One of the great things about the housing division is it's something that touches the lives of every service member that comes on the installation. Service members have to have a place to live, so it's a great opportunity to be able to serve those who serve, and I've truly enjoyed being part of the housing division. So I'm going to go inside and give you a tour of my workstation in the place I started out at here in HSO. Alright, so I'm here inside the HSO office. This is where people do their in-processing. So they come over here, they do their check-in, tell us what kind of services they need as far as trying to find homes off the installation. I'm going to walk you through kind of my work area here. So this is the path I walked for I think 7 weeks I was in HSO, and this right here is my workstation. We not all have window corner desks to work in, but this is it right here. It's important to have a clean workstation, be organized, be able to find the stuff that you're working with. One of the key components is making sure you're filing your stuff right, making sure you're tracking all your documentation, making sure that you're creating a schedule, putting calendar events in place so that they meet the deadlines and expectations of the program manager and your immediate supervisor that we report to. The tools that I have here have been very helpful and useful in facilitating my need to accommodate my goals and objectives for this program. So we'll be on to the next. All right, part of my day-to-day operations is coming over here to DPW Housing Division. This is where the UH and RCI offices are located. A lot of service members come here to either clear the base when it comes to the RCI, or they go to UH to get services for what's called CNA, Certificate of Non-Availability. That's one of the functions that they do here, and they also are here for our barracks managers who help manage or do manage the unaccompanied housing for barracks. So this is going to be a little bit of a tour of what's inside. All right, continuing with my day-to-day activities. Right now we're inside the housing division section of the building I was just outside of. Here's where our service members sign in to get our RCI services and our UH services. Right in here you'll see the waiting room for our service members. I'm conveniently located right next to the waiting room, which is in this office right here. Now I got real lucky with this place. It's not a cubicle, and from what I understand, not a lot of housing interns get to have their own office. So I'm very fortunate and grateful to be able to have this space for me to utilize. This is where I do all of my reports, check all my emails, book all my flights, do my studying. One of the things I mentioned earlier was the CP27 intern book, which is right there. Got it tabbed up, use it quite a bit. And this is my office space. I'll be going over the likes of the CP27 intern program. One of the things I like the most is being a DA civilian. I'm part of a community that really truly serves a significant purpose and has a significant contribution to our country as a whole. You know, and I'm able to serve those who serve. So I'm part of that community, which is a great feeling. I truly have a sense of accomplishment with the community I'm part of. And, you know, being in the housing division allows me to touch the lives of service members on an installation on a significant level. You know, housing is a big deal when it comes to providing the services needed to our service members so that they accomplish their missions and goals and objectives. So being part of that is a great feeling, and it's the number one thing I enjoy the most. Another thing that I like about this program is the autonomy we as interns have to complete our tasks. You know, the CP27 intern reference guide specifies, you know, hey, here are your objectives, here are the competencies we want you to achieve, you know, here are the deadlines and the times that we need you to be within each program or branch. And but it doesn't tell you when, and it doesn't tell you how. I mean, they really leave it up to the interns to really figure it out. It's a way to really test our abilities and show our worth. And you know, me being, I'm very ambitious, and allows me the opportunity to really show my leadership. You know, what kind of person I am, and I love having that opportunity. So that's one of the great things I like about this program. Another thing I like are the resources that are made available to me. You know, the computer access alone, each workstation I've had to go to, I've had a computer, which has been a significant help on allowing me or providing me the means to accomplish my objectives and my tasks. So that's a great benefit. Another thing that I like is being part of a shared vision. You know, the Army looks out to the future big time. They plan like 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years for that matter in advance, and you know, they really focus on making sure that they're meeting the needs of our service members, you know. And so when it comes to housing, that's significant, like I've been mentioning, and being part of that, it's a really good sense of being part of a community that shares a vision that really supports the needs of our service members. And that's it for this. All right, we're going to go over my dislikes of being in the intern program. I don't have many. One of the things I guess I can talk about or touch base on is waiting to have access to the computer systems that I mentioned earlier. It's tedious. You know, you come over here and you got all these things you got to do. You're reading this intern guide and you're like, oh my gosh, I have a lot to do. And if you don't have a CAC and you're not in the network, you're very limited. You have to read hard books, and that can be time-consuming trying to find some of the stuff in there. And you know, it can be a little frustrating, and you just having to wait. Because you know, me, I like to get in there and get started, and I don't like having something holding me back. And so that was probably one of the biggest dislikes that I've encountered so far being in this program. Another dislike that I have being in this program is resistance. Yeah, people that are in this, that are housing careerists, and they've been doing their job for quite a long time. And then you have someone like myself and other interns for that matter. They come in and they see someone coming in here starting off out as a 7 and get bumped to a 9 and then bumped to 11. And you have these people that have been 7s for, you know, years or maybe even a decade or more. And same with a 9 or even 11. And they're like, hey, they've been in this program for a long time. They kind of see it as unfair. And so you kind of have to deal with that resistance factor. You know, sometimes you just got to let them know, communicate why you're in this program, how you got in this program, give them a little bit of experience as far as, what brought you here. Myself, I've worked really hard my entire life, and I have a successful career track of the things that I've accomplished and done. And then once they see my work ethic, and they kind of get an understanding, oh, hey, okay, I can see why Shawn's in this program. And then they kind of see past the immediate resistance factor of going, oh, hey, I don't want to help this guy or her, whoever that person might be that's in the program. I think it's something that most any intern is going to really experience. During training that I had for the Housing Level 2 course that I went to, we had one of our leaders over there speaking, and she mentioned exactly what I just talked about. So, you got to see past that, and I'm just part of a team, and resistance or not, I'm gonna do everything I can to learn what I need to learn, and to help show the people that I work with that I'm just part of their team, and I just want to, just like them or anybody else, I want to succeed, and I'm going to work hard on achieving that. Another dislike that I would have is not really knowing where you're going to end up when it's done. It's like, oh, you have an idea as where you want to be, and you're like, oh man, I'd really like to end up here or there. And I've shared some of my goals as to where I'd like to end up. But ultimately, it's the demands of the Army. I understand that, and I respect that. And I know it's kind of hard to forecast, what's going to be available, in a 2-year window. But like I said before, I don't have very many dislikes, and if there's any of the ones that I mentioned, only ones that I do have. And so that's it for this section. All right, this section I want to talk about oral communications. One of the most important functions of communication is listening. Listening allows you to be able to identify and understand a concept or an idea that someone's trying to portray or communicate with somebody. And without listening, you really can't achieve that. So being able to comprehend an idea or a concept is crucial when it comes to gaining the knowledge and understanding of what's expected of this program and where we're going to be as a housing management specialist. Because the housing division is always changing. With that, we have our Army regulations. Even though they don't change continuously, there are changes to it all the time. And then we have exceptions of policy. We have memorandums that continue off of that. And without communicating with one another, it's kind of hard to be up to date on what's happening. So communication is an essential tool when it comes to understanding what's expected of us as housing management specialists in the housing division, at any installation or any level, at any organization for that matter. One of the things as a housing management specialist, being in this intern program, we need to also actively participate in discussions just so that we can show, hey, here's my understanding of what I've gathered from this, and here's how I believe or I think it's going to be implemented, or what we're going to do continuing on. And then, the people that are mentoring us, training us, they can let us know whether or not we're on track, and if there's, a course direction change or an adjustment to how we perceived it, we can get that information and have a clear, better understanding. Because if you're not communicating it back and letting the other people understand where you're at or where your knowledge is, there's no way for them to understand where you really truly are. So communication is essential, especially in this program. In conclusion, the CP27 Housing Intern Program, I feel, is an elite housing management training program for housing careerists, and I feel very fortunate being part of that. As an intern, a shared understanding and an open line of communication with fellow interns is also a must to truly gain the benefits of being in this program. And then also, just the final, I'm proud to be an Army civilian and working for the housing division. It's been a fortunate experience, and even though I'm still in my year one, I've learned quite a bit, and I know that I have a lot to learn and to continue learning. So I'm looking forward to the future, and looking forward to being a housing careerist. So thank you for your time, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation.